towards the Alchemist, but doesn't manage to get there in time. And a couple statues now out for Grubby. I'm not sure if he has Destroyer form yet or not. I'm guessing he does, but it's hard to say really at this point. I'm going for a Boneyard as well at the back of his base. That's a pretty interesting choice really. There's really none of Des's units beg a Boneyard to be built, but I guess Grubby's playing interestingly. He can afford to do this sort of thing, and Vampiric Ore level 2 now as well for Grubby, so this is going to be pretty decent for him if he continues on with his ghouls and maybe some Gargs for those Hippo Riders. And level 4 Alchemist as well is pretty decent, and Panda getting pretty close to level 2 as well. But now these Hippo Riders are coming in, and he really should get some upgrades for them. And I don't think he even has the standard archer upgrade at tier 2, which is a bit confusing. The longer range one, and probably continuing to creep here. He has picked up healing wards, which is pretty nice for him. Obviously, healing wards are actually, I think, pretty good. Although it's a bit unfortunate he's against Hippo Riders, which you can take them out so easily. But generally, it's if you just sort of, obviously since they're so easily taken down, if you just sort of spam all 3 down in 3 different places, it can really take them a while to actually take them down, and then you can use that time to your advantage really, and get some free hits in and get some free healing as well. And otherwise, really the only use for them is when you're camping in your base or while you're creeping or something. And I think that's probably less useful when Grubby has these statues out and the aura and blight and everything, all the healing that's associated with that. Grubby's actually going for web now. He's not going to be going for Gargs versus these Hippo Riders, so he's going to be going for Fiends by the looks of things. He does have his first Fiend out already, but it's going to take him a while to build more, and I wonder if the reason he's doing that is just because he only has 1 crypt out at the moment. And Des going for a very sneaky, very aggressive expansion here, right by Grubby's main, and I guess he's just hoping that this is sort of just the bluff that's going to win him the game. And Grubby's Shade now passing by, but not actually scouting it, so it might be a while before Grubby actually scouts out. Des managed to get that up in time, and level 3 now on the Death Knight. And I think the Dreadlord does have an orb as well as 555 mana, so a pretty sort of dangerous Dreadlord here. It looks like obviously the Dreadlord doesn't do direct damage, but just sort of his sheer sort of reducing DPS power of your enemy army is just so powerful, especially on something like a Hippo Riders, where they actually cost a fair bit of food, and just managing to sleep 1 is worth sort of a fair bit of their total army's DPS. And Des is going to get level 3 on his Panda from this creep, and we'll have to see what item he gets, but there certainly are a lot of good items that can have the potential to be very good in this situation. Gets 1 of the wind, which is actually not brilliant, because Grubby does have a lot of items. I guess if you can keep this Crypt Fiend and Cyclone, it's going to be no web for on him, but second Fiend does come in now as well, and immediately 1 web goes off here. But as you can see, Grubby just immediately sleeping one of these Hippo Riders, and it's really hard in this sort of mess to try and actually pick off 1 Hippo Rider and then attack it to wake it back up. And Crypt Fiend now getting very low, but managing to be microed back, and Grubby bringing out his Destroyers now as well, and just trying to sort of really focus down these Hippos. Obviously with the orb on the Dreadlord, it means that the Dreadlord can actually attack these Hippo Riders, but it means that he doesn't get the advantages of Vampiric Aura, so whether or not he should be doing that, I think probably he should still, but it's still not ideal. And Grubby getting a bit sort of steamrolled in this. Just obviously there's so many Hippo Riders here, but Grubby does have his heroes heading, does have an Abomination as well. I think that might do something for him, because obviously the Abominations can be very good against these Berserkers, and it's going to mean that we'll have to TP away. Obviously he's just worried about the nuking power from this level 4 Death Knight now, as well as the possibility of being slept and then having other units killed before he can TP away. And this just sort of 1 Destroyer, 1 Fiend, 1 Abomination now for Grubby, whereas much of a less diverse army for Des. He has 1 Berserker, I think he had 2, maybe he's lost 1, a couple Dots, he has a couple Archers, a couple Hippo Riders. He's really been playing a fun game here, and his expansion is now up as well, and if Grubby doesn't scout this could go very badly for Des, because Grubby I think is working under the assumption that there is no expansion. The thing he does is had quite high expenses up to this point. He's bought a TP, he's sort of gone for all these different units, he's bought all these techs for things like Hippo Riders, and Grubby actually managing to get a sleep there on a Hippo Rider, and he'll just wait for the web here so he can be sure that it'll kill it. And then that's exactly what he does. That's going to get him Dreadlord level 5, and that's just going to be so good. It's going to give him sleep level 3, I presume, because Vampiric Aura isn't too important at this point in the game. And Des actually hiring another Merc. He's hired an Ogre Mauler, I guess, against those Fiends, and also it's nice just to have something to absorb lots of the damage. And meanwhile, this expansion is now up and running. Has 4, has the 5th wisp being built for it, and Grubby just bringing in more and more fiends. Obviously he doesn't have very many fiends, so it's not really worth getting any upgrades at this point, just considering that he has a couple of abominations as well, and it's a different sort of tech set for that. Looks like there might be a bit of a fight here, and Grubby's certainly not in the best position. He probably does have a comparable size army. He has 50 food compared to Des' 57 now. So remember that he has 5 more food of wisps on gold though. So it really is very comparable army sizes at this point, both with 2 heroes as well. So it might come down to hero levels though, because the Grubby does have 5-4 now compared to 4-3. So pretty nice for Grubby at this point. And Grubby just continuing to creep out. I guess he wants that Death Knight level 5. Really playing Lord of the Rings here though. Get 3 ring of protections on that Death Knight. That's really bad luck for Grubby, but I guess lots of rings on the lots of armor is really needed. Actually, this is sort of the one situation really where you're playing against something, an army that has the massive ability to reduce your armor massively. Getting rid of the combined with the Alchemist and the dots, just having all that extra armor on the only unit that you can't heal is quite nice. And Grubby's actually retrained a Carrion Swarm. I thought I saw one earlier. I didn't really believe it, but I guess he has. Yeah, he's actually got rid of Vampiric Aura. Sorry, I should have noticed that. And he's just been clearing out all of Des's wisps by the looks of things, and that might hurt Des's lumber economy. I'm not sure. No, Des has 1100 armor or 1100 lumber. I guess he's been mining it pretty well. But Grubby has now scouted out this expansion. It looks like he probably will want to attack, but he knows that by attacking he's going to force a fight, and so he's just going to want to be sure that he can win that fight. And then if he can win the fight, then he can win the war basically. But if he loses this one fight, then he's definitely lost it. So he is being careful here, and there's a TP here on the Alchemist, and actually some pretty nice items here for both the heroes. And Des is now TPing, and I guess he decides that this is sort of an expansion that he needs, and I sort of agree with this. And now Grubby decides that it's not worth the fight. He's managed to take down the expansion, so really he can. He'd rather just live to fight another day, especially considering the bad position he was in. I think that was a very wise decision by him. And meanwhile, Grubby hasn't yet used his boneyard. I'm a bit surprised by that, because obviously it's a significant expense just to build. And I mean, I thought it was a weird choice in the first place, but then building one and not building anything with it, it's a bit odder. And meanwhile, Des now coming in. I guess he's decided that with his expansion, he just wants to get this wants to get an attack going, but immediately getting lots of things webbed. And really, that's not great for Des. He does get level 5 Alchemist though, but Alchemists don't really get much better with levels. It's actually much more items based, and there's a GG there, because just Des was just so far behind at this point. And I thought that was a really interesting game. Actually, I really enjoyed casting that one. And what else? I was going to do sort of the WEG games, but they haven't had the replays released yet, and apparently it might be between a couple weeks and like a month or something for them to come out, and they are just absolutely fantastically epic games, and so I really want to cast them, but I'll have to see when those come out. Anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Please feel free to comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks.